First of all, to all the beginners out there, my name is Tom McKinney, and I am the instructor for the beginner class. And I'm glad to see some people on here this month. There's um, there's some things you ought to be doing in in February. First of all, um, how many people right now who are joining us are going to be having bees this year? Is everyone pretty much?
Yeah, I will be.
Okay.
The Shannon McGinley.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right. Anyone else? Look at it this way: is anyone not going to have bees this year, or is everybody elected to get bees?
I am not. This is Sheena.
Okay. All right. Oh, that's fine, Sheena. So you're just going to be in a learning mode this year. Is that right?
Yeah, well, I signed up for the apprenticeship
Okay.
thing. So if
All
y'all
right.
find me
Good.
a partner, then I'm going to be doing that. But I don't want to jump into it until I get
That's
through a year with y'all.
that's smart. That's smart. A lot of people have done that. That's a good thing to do. You go through, you see people mistakes people make, you absorb the info that we give you, and that's a I think that's a smart decision. It's a lot of people don't realize that beekeeping is, there's a lot to it. This is for everybody out there, really. That's listening in. There's a lot to it. Um, there's a lot to learn, and at the beginning, it's going to seem overwhelming. The amount of information that's going to be pretty much presented to you. What I would suggest is you kind of do what I did when I first started. Just take bits and pieces of it, put it together, the basics, little by little, and really just learn from the best people in the club that have been doing this for years and years and years. There's people in this organization that have been keeping bees 40, 50, 55 years. And they're the ones to pick their brains and find out what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. And they are more than happy to lend a hand to make sure that you're on the right track. So I just want to kind of put that out there to everybody. Um, just a couple of basic things to start with. You're going to need a place to put your bees. Okay. Um, I guess most people will be putting them in that are getting bees. You'll be putting them in your yard, and you must have a southwesterly exposure. Okay. In other words, the southwesterly exposure is going to allow for plenty of warmth, and that's what you want. You want your bees to be warm, especially during the winter months. So you want to position them so that they have maximal warmth. Um, Also, as far as your equipment is concerned, I hope you had a chance to visit uh, parts of the internet on Man Lake or Forest Hills Carpentry. That is Ike. That is really our go-to guy in the Chester County Beekeepers. He's a great guy, and you want to look up his site and take a visit out to him. You can also go to Man Lake, and they have beginner kits. Again, I would suggest you starting with 2 hives. Reason being is if one is a bummer and doesn't make it, you still have another one that you can see through the rest of the year, and possibly even be able to get a split off it. And then maybe by the end of the year, middle of the summer, maybe you can make a split off that one, and now you got 2 hives. which is great. So your beginner kit should have the following in it. Okay, it's going to give you a hive. Again, I would suggest you getting 2. That is my best suggestion. A little more expensive, but I think it's going to be far more enjoyable. Your kit will include a pair of gloves, in most cases, I think. It's going to give you a hive tool. It'll give you a frame scratcher, which will come in very, very handy in several phases of beekeeping. And also, it's going to, if you get the full kit, it's going to give you a hive and all the frames to go with it, which is good. You'll probably have to buy a second one, but I mean that's okay. There are some pretty good deals out there on beginner kits. Next, you want to select your suit. Now listen carefully on a suit. I want to stress this. Make sure that when you go to purchase your suit, that you try it on and that it is comfortable, and that you have somebody at either Man Lake or Forest Hills go with you when you are selecting the suit and make sure that it fits properly. All right. Reason being, you want to have an enjoyable experience. Don't pick a flimsy suit that you're going to spend $20 or $30 on. You'll get stung, and it's not a fun thing. Okay, get the best suit covering you from head to toe, and you'll be much better off. Suits run. You can get some pretty good deals on them. $120, $150 for a full suit at Man Lake or Ike's. Get the one that zips up, okay, around your neck, and fits with a Velcro right across the throat area. You should be fine. That should fit you just well. Don't go with just a jacket and jeans. Bees will sting through your jeans. Maybe not right away, but later in the season, they certainly will. Because as the season goes on, they get a little more defensive, just so you know that. Okay? So just take the proper precaution. So everyone does have that is getting bees, except for Sheena at this point. If you that's good that you've got bees. Please do ask me some questions if you would. This is an opportunity. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi Tom. This is Shannon McGinley. I just had a question. I was looking to do to get 2 nukes. Is there some place that you would recommend picking them up from?
I would try. I would try Man Lake at this point.
Okay.
Or you can look on the club website, and there are people on there that have stuff for sale. Unfortunately, mine are gone.
Okay.
They were gone as of 2 weeks ago. They
Okay.
were gone very quickly. So overwintered nukes go really quick.
Okay.
And they tend to be the most successful because they're domiciled in this area and they're used to the cold weather that we have here, inclement conditions, and they do well. I would first look on the
Tom,
on
there is
right?
some advertising on the newsletter. So there's Frank Ruthkowski, who has the Exton Bee Company, and Walt, who has the Swarm Busters, who are some of the larger beekeepers in the area. They still have nukes for sale.
Well, there you go. There you go. Tim
Okay.
just chimed in with some advice there. I would say try one of them, and they'd be able to help you. Again, that's what you want. You want something local that's been treated and fed and cared for, which I'm sure all those have been. So, yeah, that's what you want to do. Anybody else have some questions for me? Please ask. Go ahead, Ernest.
Yeah, I have bees, and I've been selling them now for 2 or 3, 4 years. I forget how many now. I've been selling nukes, and
Okay.
the thing is, you just got to get started.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. That's why I'm on the beginners here. The bees makes you feel like a beginner every time you go out there. So they do something different, but
Yeah, you got to keep up with them. I know.
don't be afraid to get in there and get started. And like you said, ask other people for help. I trained 3 people this last year.
Mhm.
You come to my place and I train you, and I get your help for the effort, and you learn in the process. So
Right. Right.
that's
This is a big issue with beginners. You're going to make mistakes. Just expect it. Okay. You're going to make mistakes, and mistakes are going to be your best teacher. Right. So just go into it, do what you think is right after you've absorbed information and put it to task. And at that point, um, see how things go. And maybe it's right, maybe it's not right. Also, keep in mind that there are really no right or wrong way to do things. As far as it's your way adopted from several other sources that you have listened to, whether it's people in the club or something you heard online, something you've learned at the conference, which is coming up, which I want to chime in on that. Make sure that as a beginner, you do the conference. It's very, very valuable, the information that you will learn.
Tom, the other recommendation to be put forward possibly is the Bee Passport program that they'll listen to later tonight if they stay on. That's got a built-in guide and journal system that Daryl and a few of us worked on with Better Bee. And they'll help you, give you an idea of what's going through. And with that program, I believe Daryl and even myself will do like pre-advertising on what you need to do with your hives going through the season, not to leave you in the lurch.
Okay. All right. All right. So it looks to me like we've got 14 different people on here right now. That's good. Myself and Russ and Tim are part of that. So, all right. It's an exciting time for a new beekeeper, and I know there's great anticipation. Our beginner class that we're having at Bondsville, at Bondsville Park in Downingtown this year is very exciting, and it should be a great setting for our class. Just remember that the March class, which is going to be March the 1st, by the way. So if you haven't signed up, please do so. That'll be really a classroom only session that time. We won't quite have the daylight until April to be able to do an actual in the hive inspection, which we will be doing at each class from March till October, which is the last class. The first class and the last class, we probably won't be doing a in-hive inspection. We just won't have the daylight to do it. So you're going to be learning a lot, expect that. And as I had told you, are going to make mistakes. So just make them and learn from them. You'll be doing, as I said, you're going to be doing the 2 hives, which is, my best recommendation. And, that should be pretty good. I can tell you a little bit about what I've been doing with mine. I just chimed in a little bit there with Mark. I was looking in some of mine today. They look good. They look, a lot of them look very strong. And I'm pleased to see that. So feeding was an issue in the fall. And I did recognize that at the time and really fed a lot. So that's going to be a big key that you're going to learn about down the road. So does anybody have any questions for me? Please ask them.
Did you cover about getting bees, Tom?
I did.
Okay.
Tim had chimed in on that he has some and Frank has some.
Mm-hmm.
I told him that mine are gone at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They're all sold.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That was Frank. Frank and Walt have them. So Swarm Buster and the Exton Bee Company.
Okay. Is anybody doing? Has anybody decided to do a package as opposed to as opposed to a nuke?
Well, that was going to be my next question was, if nukes are short on supply or whatever, is there, I know that would be the preference, but what about doing a package instead?
Well, let me give you my thoughts on that. As a beginner, they're really, you can go with either one. If you go with a nuke this year, a good strong nuke, it's going to be get ready, get set, go, because things are going to happen fast. Okay, so you got to be ready. These bees are going to grow. They're going to grow and they're going to want to go fast. So it's a little faster pace with a nuke, and you'll probably get honey this year. I mean, if that's your goal, you'll probably be able to make a couple of splits. That's going to be another one of your goals. So, I mean, that's the positive of a nuke. You just got to be ready. That's all. With a package, it's going to be slower. You're going to get the package. It's going to be 3 pounds of bees. It's going to have a queen in it, and it's going to grow slower. And you're going to be able to see it develop. I mean, you're going to go in a couple of weeks after you install the package, and you're going to see eggs. And that'll be something that you're going to need to see. And a little bit later on, you're going to have larvae. That larva is going to get capped over, and you're going to have brood. Okay? And you can see the pattern and how it develops, and that's good for a beginner to see that. Okay? You'll also see it with a nuke. It's just going to happen faster. I'm just telling you that. Price difference between a nuke and a package is, I'm not sure what packages are going for this year. Maybe around 185, 190, something like that. You're going to pay more for a nuke. Again, if you get a nuke and it's from this area, it's probably going to be something very good. It's probably going to grow fast. It'll be healthy. Packages, a disadvantage to them, you don't know where they come from. I mean, a lot of them come from down south. They have queens that they say have come from up north somewhere, but those tend to be like Jim Bob bees or something. And it's up to you. Really up to you. If you're really going to get started and you really want to see stuff grow, and you've done your homework a little bit over the winter, and you've known you're going to be doing this, and you've looked online and read up on some beginner sessions or whatever, I'd go ahead with a nuke. You know, you'll be ready. There'll be plenty of people out there to help you.
How often do you check on your bees? And for
What's
those
that?
of us who live in more, my question was how often do you check on your bees, and when? What do you recommend for? Can you do you have there any issues that you're aware of for more the people who live like in neighborhoods?
As far as checking on your bees, okay. You want to check on your bees on days when it's 50 degrees or above. If you just want to take a peek in and you want to look, okay, like I did today. I was looking to re-up my food stores. I was adding fondant, making sure that they had enough to eat. So I went in. Some needed it, some didn't. You know, 50 degrees is good for doing something like that. If you're going in and you're pulling out frames, okay, you want to make sure that it's 60 degrees or above. If you do it below that, you run the risk of chilling the brood. All right. And if you pull a frame out, it's too chilly and it gets cold, it will die. All right. So we don't want that happening. So there's really no reason to be pulling out frames right now. A little risky. Again, it's only the 10th or 11th of February. So really no need to be doing that right now.
But during the season, when you're in season, how often you know
during the season, I'll tell you what I do. In the beginning of the season, I'm in there every 7 to 9 days, depending. I don't want to get into this too much as to what I do, because what I do is much more advanced than what you do. But I'm just going to answer your question, and I'm going to tell you every 7 to 9 days. In other words, once a week you want to be in there. You want to give yourself one bad weather day in case there's a lot of rain or there's thunderstorms or something like that. You want to kind of pick a nice day to go in. Your bees are much happier to see you on a sunny day. And if it's a pleasant sunny day, all the nasty foragers are out of the hive and they are out on whatever is in bloom at that time. So you want to you want to do it on a nice day once a week. That's what I do. Now, as the season progresses, okay, and we get past the summer solstice, all right, I don't go in as often. Maybe every 10 to 12 days I go in after that. Pretty close to 2 weeks. You want to give things a chance to build up. The less you do during that period of time, say after about the middle of June or so, the better. That's what I find. And they seem to do just fine. And so, answer your question is early on in the season, once a week, a little bit later on, a little past the summer solstice, maybe every 10 days to 2 weeks is plenty. You can tell an awful lot about what's going on in a hive by looking at the front of it. Okay, if it looks busy, if it looks like things are going all right, then there isn't a whole lot of reason to go in and do a lot of disruption. Okay, here's one big pointer I can put out to you. Always have a purpose when you're going in your hive. You need a purpose and you need a plan. In other words, today I'm doing this. I'm looking for my queen. All right. I'm looking for my queen. I'm looking for eggs. And if that's your goal on that day, then that's what you do. Eggs, queen. Great. You've done your job that day. Come back the next time. Okay. This time I'm looking for my queen. I'm looking for eggs, and I'm looking for larvae in different stages. All right. So you look at larvae, at different size larvae, okay? And you just observe what's going on. And, it should be good, should be pretty good. Another thing you could be looking for is the brood pattern. How does my pattern look? Is it solid? Is it spotty? If it's spotty, it means there's an issue. There's something not quite right. Maybe your queen's no good. That's the type of thing. We run into a lot of issues with queens, and you got to keep up on them. The club breeds queens specifically from our members' strongest stock, so it gives you a good opportunity to get a strong hive. Anyone else like to chime in with a question or a comment? I think we got to wrap it up in a couple of minutes. I think we're at 8:10. George wants us back.
When should we expect there to be some brood in there?
Well, it all depends when you start. If you get a nuke, it's already going to have brood in it.
So if we have established hives that we are overwintering, when should we expect that the queen is going to start laying again?
Probably around now. You'll start to see some eggs. If you were watching a little earlier, Paul went into one of his hives, and he had some eggs to show. So yeah, things have begun already on warmer days. The problem with warmer days is if you have several of them in a row, they get a little confident, and that queen starts laying maybe a little too much. So, it's going to get cold again. I mean, they're talking about snow again on Sunday after a day before where it had been 60. So, it's a tricky time of year, and it will be until the first part of April. You never know, So, Russ, I see you're on there. Did you have a question? Something you want to add?
Well, I just wondered, is anyone that's currently on the call, have you signed up for the actual beginner's course?
Question is everybody on the chat tonight? Have you signed up for the beginner course? We would say that is really, really valuable, and that's something that you do need to do. So you can go on the club site, you can sign up. I think the experience is really
is that in the storefront?
Really. What's that again?
Is that in the storefront?
Yeah. I think if you go into the club site, I think you can go into the storefront and it will show beginner class.
Yeah, I haven't seen like an alert from anybody that's on there.
Okay. All right. I did see it on there the other day when I was in. So do make sure.
It's in the learning center.
Learning center. There you go. Go into the learning center. Everybody have that?
Yes.
Yeah. Go into the learning center, and should be fine.
So
if you take all the classes, it adds up to about $10 a course, which you're going to get so much information from the course.
So comparing that to the apprenticeship program, what I guess one is you're just following or going to somebody's apiary and helping them out versus formal instruction.
That's exactly it. I mean, you're going to be hands-on with somebody at their site with the apprentice program, which is a good thing to do. It really is. Now, it's also our beginner course also has a hands-on section that I do, And every month we will be going into the hive to examine what's going on that month. You know, we'll be going in to see. You know, we're gonna be looking for a queen when we go in. We'll be looking for eggs. We'll be looking for brood. We'll be looking for larvae and the different stages, and whether there's problems and how we can fix them. You know, is maybe it's queenless, and we show you how to make it, good again. You know, so that you're not queenless. So, I mean, these are all things to look forward to.
Yeah, with the bee course that we teach, the group will be in the hive together looking at frames and discussing what's going on by the Beekeepers month. But if you're in the apprentice program, you'll be going to a hive every 2 weeks, and you and your leader will be, looking at frames together. So you have a lot more in the hive time with the apprentice program.
Yeah.
But both of them are, very valuable, whichever one you prefer. I see Janet asked a question about where's the information on nukes on the website. So Janet, if you're on the if you go on the CCBA website, you want to go to the members menu and then go over to buy and sell. And you'll be able to see people that want to buy nukes, for example, or people that want to sell nukes. And normally when people enter that information on the website, everybody's copied that elects to receive that kind of information. So I hope that helps you.
Thank you. Yes.